Music Studio.
Bees. Everybody knows them for their production of tasty honey and cross-pollination. But very few people actually know of their extended importance in the overall honey value chain. In the Kilum forest, we see Emmanuel Bidnui really understands this value chain. He is an environmentalist, conservation crusader, and knows the importance of protecting the forest and general biodiversity around Kilum. Funded by the United Nations Development Program under the Early Recovery Grants Program, Emmanuel's organization, Cameroon Gender and Environment Watch, went all out to demonstrate this honey value chain.
I am with Emmanuel Bidnui, and I'm the Apiculture and Nature Conservation Campaigner for Cameroon Gender and Environment Watch. Yes, I've been working in this organization since 2008, and as an environmentalist, I've been in the field for more than 20 years. When I went to Oko for a visit, I discovered that there was a big forest called Kilum Forest, and this forest had something special. And also I fell in love with the forest too, because the forest was quite peculiar from other forests that are known. It was important not because of the trees, because of timber that you see passing in big trucks, but it was important because of the non-timber forest products. This forest was peculiar because of the white honey, the Oko white honey, which is certified as a geographical indication product. And we know too, around the Kilum forest, we have people. Most of the people there are herbalists. That means they rely on the power of the forest, the medicinal power of the plants in the forest. And that is what really also makes the Oko white honey very peculiar, because of the medicinal values of the trees. It was really not good for us to see that the forest disappeared because of bushfire, which takes away the biodiversity, the animals, the bees, everything plus the medicinal plants. So we had to fight bushfire. And to fight this bushfire, we saw that it was important to engage communities in the fight against bushfire and conservation. And to do this, we saw that apiculture, which is bee farming, was going to be the center stage for this to solve this problem.
Emmanuel is so knowledgeable about bees and enjoys talking about them.
Bees are a special types of species, and they are one of the most economical insects that mankind has and even nature has. And bees are very good for pollination. Almost 80% of the crops that we eat is thanks to bees. We even have like the melons. Without the bees, nobody can pollinate. There will be no pollination of melons, and we will not have the pumpkins and the melons and so on. And then bees too, again, they produce honey. And as they produce honey, honey is important to mankind because we eat it. It is medicinal, it has various uses, and also beeswax come from it. And so we have other products that come from bees, from honey. And bees too are a biodiversity. They are part of the biodiversity because they are species diversity, and there are varieties of bees. As you know, we have in the Kilum forest area, we have the stingless bee, which is on the ground, and that is the one that produces stingless bee honey. And that bee is so special. It doesn't sting, but its honey is produced on the ground. It's still not yet very clear to domesticate it, but much of it is in the forest, and we can get huge quantity of honey, meaning that honey harvested from the wild, stingless bee honey harvested from the wild, can be able to be a source of job and could be a source of income. And that's why you have it in the Kamji honey shop. We have the stingless bees, which produce the stingless bee honey. And then we have the other normal bees that produce us the white honey, the Oku white honey, and also still produce the brown honey. You know, the Oku white honey is white just because of the trees and the location of the forest, the altitude, and all the other humidity and all that plays a part to make the honey white. But the same bees down in the valley and the other biodiversity area produce different types of honey, the brown honey. So these are a treasure to mankind, and also it's a big treasure to the Oku, the Kilum-Ijim forest community, where Oku is one of the communities. And these bees are a source of livelihood, because in some other areas it is not developed. But in this forest, bees are a big gift to the Kilum-Ijim forest community. When Kamji discovered that bushfire was a major threat to the forest, we had to start reflecting on how to sort this out. So, and we knew that to manage this forest, we had to get a new way of engaging communities to manage the bushfire. So we came out with bee farming, where we trained them, community members, and gave them few hives. And when one person had one hive and it colonized, they were so happy and they added the numbers. And up to now, we have people having more than 50, 100 hives in the forest. And then we organized them into cooperatives. It increased solidarity. And when they heard that there is bushfire inside the forest, they were rushing into the forest to protect their beehives. So they are putting off the fire to protect their beehives. And in that way, they were helping us as an organization, a conservation organization, protect the forest, because the bushfire destroys their beehive and also the forest, the biodiversity. So this was really a big point where we came to a platform where everybody had a win-win. Kamji saw the forest protected, the Ministry of Forestry and Environment, Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife saw the forest protected, and the community saw the beehives there. The traditional rulers, the tradition saw the forest protected as a shrine, as a traditional heritage, and this we saw some joy in the work that we were doing. And then the community members, we had to make sure that the honey that is produced from the forest should be converted to money, because if the honey is not converted to money, the bee farmers will not value the forest, because their hives will not have any value. So therefore, the honey shop that we created in Bamenda to sell the honey products, honey and honey products, was now an opportunity cost to the bushfire that the bee farmers had forgone and communities had forgone, because the honey that was coming out from there was being converted to money in the shop, and then the money goes back to them, and then they value the forest, and therefore they stopped the bushfire. And that's why from 2012 to 2017, in 2017 we had one bushfire that occurred, and when this bushfire occurred in Raunenchi community forest, we saw more than 70 bee farmers in the forest running, and each of them were struggling, looking for various methods to put off the fire. And they finally put off the fire without it consuming a huge portion of forest. We had about 5 to 6, 7 hectares of the forest that was burnt. But then, in the past, we used to burn even up to 1,000 hectares with nobody worried. But in 2018, we had no bushfire. And 2019, we had no bushfire. And this is the result of the work that we have done, because we have had more than 1,000 bee farmers trained and organized into cooperatives. And through the cooperatives, Kamji now buys the honey and then sell in the shop, because the cooperatives are found in rural areas where the market is not available, but the demand for honey is high in town. So from Bamenda, we can sell the honey internationally, nationally to other places with no problem.
My name is Savitam Ernestine Lekeki. I'm the Social and Environment Officer of Cameroon Gender and Environment Watch, and also one of its founding members. I have the passion to empower women and the passion to take care of the environment. In relation to honey, and beeswax from Kilum Ijim Forest area. Kamju trains women, youths, and men in transforming these products. Honey is transformed into honey wine and honey juice. This is something that the people love to take because our transformation initiative does not only involve honey, it involves honey from our forest, medicinal plants from our forest, herbs from our forest. It helps the people to identify with their culture. It brings people back home. When we think of honey wine from Kilum Ijim Forest, everybody wants to go back home and everybody wants to push hard to end the conflict because we need to identify where we come from. So producing this honey, like I said, involves honey. It involves various medicinal plants from our forest area. And that is why our beneficiaries, when we visit them, when we go out to see what they are doing, we see various brands of honey wine and honey juice coming up. This is a friendly and a family drink because the young, the old, the sick, women, everybody can drink.
The greatest challenge that I discovered in this forest area was that people were not thinking out of the box. And the natural resource, which is the forest, had a huge quantity of opportunities for communities. But they needed to start thinking out of the box to be able to benefit from the opportunities that were there. So, and through our trainings, we came up with innovative and creative ways of doing trainings. That means we engage in entrepreneurship. All our trainings had the issue of the aspect of entrepreneurship, making people to think business. Because there is no way that we can grow if we want poverty and unemployment to leave us, if we cannot convert natural resources into a way that it can create us jobs and income. And therefore we need to be thinking creative and innovative, which is entrepreneurship, which is now coming in at the fourth factor of production. And that one, you don't need to go to school. You don't need to, local people can be able to use entrepreneurship, blend it with the knowledge of their forests and the natural resources and create jobs out of it. So our trainings on honey production, honey harvesting, beehive construction, beeswax extraction goes to make sure that people should not only be producing it at a local level, but they should be thinking about producing it even at smaller level, but coming together as a cooperative to be able to benefit from economies of scale, and then they can look for a bigger market. Because if we cannot be able to get a market out of the forest resources, the products, in a way that it is sustainable, in a way that it remains green, that means not exploiting the natural resources of our exploitation, we will always continue to depend on others. But we want the community members to be self-reliant. And that is why we promote entrepreneurship as a business model, where through training on honey production, beeswax extraction, transformation of various honey to honey wine, honey juice, and beeswax to lotion, to soap, to powder soap, and to candle, they must be able to think of how can we convert this to money. And so we factor this inside our trainings.
My name is Silverus von Dumont. I produce honey wine and juice. I'm also a mushroom farmer. Kamju trained me how to produce honey wine and juice. We attended the course here in Bamina. The training it has many advantages because I produce honey wine with medicinal plants which are helpful to anybody who takes it. Because from the training I got from Kamju, it has empowered me. The honey wine and juice I make now, it is a business now that I'm doing, and it's helping me and my family. This honey wine is helpful to farmers because they work the whole day long, they till the soil, some do clearing, and when they come back to relax, they take this and it kills their pains.
My name is Kisito Fonyon. I am a honey wine producer. Kamju launched a program and I happen to be one of their beneficiary. I attended the training, and then from there they gave me products which I'm able to start up a business with. I said thanks to Cameroon Gender and Environment Watch. For me to be able to get a product like this, first I'll need to know my ingredients. From there, then I am able to produce it. And these are the ingredients standing here. This one is called rosemary. It is good for the brain. Then this one is foolery. And then here we have concealed. This one. Then we have lemon. This is an extracted juice from lemon. And then here we have turmeric. Then ginseng. And then above all we have honey.
In the beginning, our project was centered around the Kilomedian forest. And also we looked at the problem of poverty, unemployment, and gender inequality. And these were the basics that we wanted to sort out, plus the degradation of the forest by bushfire. So we had to see how to develop the honey value chain. People were poor. Communities lacked money. Communities had no jobs. And then the honey was getting to certified, which was the price of white honey is higher than other prices of other honey. So this was a big opportunity for community to make use of. And then again, the apiculture sector was considered a masculine sector. Only men were involved. But we know our greatest population in Cameroon is women. So we could not leave women behind. And then the youths are also coming up. So our work was more focused on seeing how to engage youths and women in apiculture.
To me, the environment is life. It means livelihood, it means income, it means health. So the environment to me is life for mankind. The environment needs us, and we also need the environment. If we protect the environment provides for us. Then we ensure jobs, income, livelihood, and healthy living.
My name is Gengan Elfrida. I transform beeswax into powdered soap, to transform it also into soap and candles. I learned how to produce powdered soap from beeswax and also beeswax soap and beeswax candles. It is helping me first to improve my cleanliness, to improve in my income, and also it is also helping me to at least train the other members in the family, improve the standards of their living and also mine. For the ingredients of beeswax powder soap, you have beeswax, you have caustic, you have soda ash, you have baking soda, and you have kernel oil. During the training with Kamju, we were trained not to put colors. But some were also advised that since we want to go large scale, we should listen to the market, we should listen to our customers. So I came about putting colors because some of my customers came, they said, Madam, I like blue color, I like this color. So that is why I put it, I had now these two colors, the blue and the white. It's as a response to the demands of my customer. As for my packages, I always go to the market, get them from the market. But I have this big challenge. At times availability is not there. It is very scarce. And I also have different sizes. I package it in 100, 500 francs, and 1,000, and even 2,000. As I said, depending on the demands of my customers. For beeswax candle, I start by chopping the candle and the wax, the beeswax. Then I double boiled to melt it, to have that liquid beeswax. Then I take my mold or my foam. Then I pass my wick through it, depending on which form that I'm using. So I pass my wick through it with the aid of a toothpick or any stick of my choice. I tie it under and I tie it above as to centralize it well. Then after that, I pour in my wax. Then I keep to cool. The beeswax, first of all, especially with these African fabrics, it holds fast the colors. It holds fast the colors. So that is what I was so amazed with it, because when you compare with the ones in the market, you see that you sparingly use powdered soap to wash these are African attires with them. So that is, first of all, that is what struck me first. That aspect of holding fast these our colors in our African fabrics. Yes, then secondly, I always say it's soft. You have soft touch. I don't know how to the terminology to use. You have soft touch when you are using it. It doesn't burn your hand because after making it, you keep it for a number of days. So the corrosive nature is not there. So that's why I'm so amazed with the function of beeswax. Caustic is a chemical, right? And it is very corrosive. When I produce my powdered soap, I keep it for 30 days to reduce as much as possible that corrosive nature of that caustic.
I'm mixing caustic soda with water, and I have to stir it for so long to give it a smooth and even mixture. And as you can see, there is smoke coming out of it, which tells us that it is very acidic. You shouldn't touch it with the fingers, else it chops off your flesh.
Then you get, that is why now all the other ingredients, majority are organic ingredients. So when you compare with those two, one ingredient compared to 3 other organic, so the compound now becomes organic. So when I produce the powder soap, I have to keep it for this time, as I said. Caustic is corrosive. If you use it before that number of days, it will burn your hand. You have some peel, it peels your hand. Yes, because it is corrosive, so it erodes. Yes. Okay. So that's why we're keeping it for that 30 days, so that that corrosive nature disappears.
This particular project with United Nations Development Program on Social Cohesion and Early Recovery in Cameroon, entitled Developing the Honey Value Chain in Kilum-Ijim Forest for Livelihood Improvement and Conservation, has 2 main objectives. 1, to conserve the natural, beautiful forest that we have, the Kilum-Ijim Forest, and to improve the livelihood through transformation of Kilum-Ijim Forest products to locally useful products, that we can have them locally, we can make a market nationally and go internationally. The sustainability of this project depends very much on the success of the beneficiaries that Kamji trains, because they were trained to be trainers of trainers.
Under this project, we planted 5,500 bee-loving trees. And these bee-loving trees, we had to add more flowers for bees to be able to consume and produce more honey. And it was the community members that came together and planted these trees. We allowed the community, let it be, it was supposed to be, it was community driven. It was not Kamji, because at one moment, Kamji is just facilitating. It should be the action of the community. And then we also had trained community members, like talk about 5,500 trees planted this 2019. As of now, since 2012, Kamji had planted 80,500 trees. From 2012 till 2019, Kamji planted 80,500 trees. And this planted together with bee farmers. And this project, we trained about 45 persons in bee farming, considering that we had to make it inclusive, considering that youths and women are more of people who are marginalized, who are not included in many activities. They are like marginalized. We had many of them participating. We had about 23 women participating and about 15 youths also engaging.
And so, In the larger story of bees as a marvelous gift to mankind, communities all over the world continue to remain grateful to an insect so small and yet so big.